Right on. So we've got two different types of fin installations. This one is the ultimate. Whoop. Done. But the majority of what we're going to have out there is going to be this setup where you've got a plate, and this one happens to be a toolless screw. Some of them you have to have a screwdriver to use, but these are a lot easier where it's a thumb. What I like to do is get it started just barely, and then let that guide me in there. And then drop this guy in. And then you gotta line it up. Yes, it matters which way it goes. The fin always points to the back. I think that's an always. We don't like to use the word always, but I think it's appropriate here. I can't think of a situation where it's an advantage for it to be pointing the other way, unless you're trying to collect weeds, if that's your intent.
So Trey had his trick where he starts it. I just plop it in there. And I like to use this just to slide it forward. Either way works. I'm gonna line this part up with the hole. Slide it back. And then again, I'm gonna use this to slide the washer. See both holes lined up. Just screw it in. It's just weird. Oh. You can find one of those, definitely.
Yeah, they're amazing. Awesome. All right, so leashes. Yeah, we can. You want to do it with us? Why do we need a leash?
So you don't lose the board if you fall off.
You don't lose the board if you fall off. Absolutely. These things travel much faster in the wind than you can swim. And this is the thing that we need to have with us out there. Okay, if I fall off the back of the board, it sends it, it's gonna go. So this keeps us connected. When would we not want to use a leash? Does anybody know? Is there a time when you wouldn't want a leash? So in very narrow, twisty rivers, possibly, especially that are mellow rivers with lots of trees and downfall, if you were to fall off the board, you could get entangled in your leash, or the leash gets entangled into the wood and you're connected to it. That wouldn't be very good. Okay. If you lose your board in a twisty, narrow river, it's going to be right there. You'll find your board. You're not losing the board. Okay. When do you have to use a leash? Is this a law? Is there a time where this is a law? You know? So you don't have to use a leash. It's recommended. Unless you're in a surf zone, then you do have to use a leash. Okay, so that you keep track of your board and you're not sending it into somebody else. Okay? When do you have to wear a life jacket?
There are no laws for it, right?
So you have to have one with you. You don't have to be wearing it. Yep. Unless you're in the surf zone, then you don't. Okay. And this gets very confusing because people on boards think they're surfers. That's why it's so appealing. Everybody can stand up and feel like they're surfing, even though they're not. Only in the surf zone are you allowed to not have a PFD with you. Okay. And the reason for that is if you really were on a surfboard or surfing, you don't want that buoyancy because you want to be able to punch underneath the waves when you're going back out. The buoyancy would actually do you a disservice. Okay. But for all other uses, you want to have a PFD on. Okay, cool. So attaching the leash, you got kind of a narrow end and a wider end. And this has got a bunch of Velcro on it. You're gonna just undo all the Velcro. Got that, cool. And when you look at all this Velcro, there's gonna be a gap in one spot. That gap lives right there on your leash plug, okay? And then we just fold it over 3 times. 1, 2, 3, done. Excellent. And this, some of them are designed to go around calves, some of them are designed to go around ankles. We all have different proportion bodies. It lives wherever it's comfortable for you. Okay, so either around your calf or around the ankle. Wherever it feels like you're getting nice and snug is good. Does it matter right or left? No. You should be able to ride goofy or regular. Shouldn't matter which way you're going. All right, cool. So we've got what's called a coil leash or a straight leash. Straight leashes are for use in the surf zone. Okay, so when you fall off your board and you send it, it's not getting ricocheted right back into your face, all right? The bummer about a straight leash is that when you're just paddling along, all that stuff is dragging in the water. Creates drag, it slows you down, it's stuff to get tangled up in. So the coil leashes tend to they have lots of stretch, but they tend to be a little bit more easy to mind, okay? The other thing you can do with the leash too, if you have a releasable belt on your PFD, is connect it here. Now I could be in a river environment. If this got all tangled up, I just pull on this, the whole thing comes off and I'm free. When we talk about wearing a leash on a releasable belt, key thing is that this is releasable. It's not a buckle. It's not a squeeze. It's a quick release designed specifically for release under duress or under tension. This setup here would not be safe in a river environment because there's no way for her to release this. When Velcro's under tension, you can't release it, and this strap is unreleasable, okay? So it's important to know that, and you can't unbuckle this type of buckle when it's under stress either. Only these quick release guys release under stress. You never want to be connected to anything that you can't get yourself out of the system.